So a radical equation is an equation that contains variables in the radicand. So basically when we think about this, it's got a variable in the square root. That's all it is. And so an example is this, y equals 2 root x. That is an example of a radical equation. Okay? And so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to have to solve these equations. However, whenever we solve a radical equation, we have to check our answers. You have to do it because sometimes you're going to have extra solutions. And we call those extra solutions extraneous solutions. So, this is how it's spelled, extraneous. And if you know, the root word is extra. So sometimes we'll get those extraneous solutions and we just cross them off because they don't match. So let's go ahead and look at this first equation. What do you think you're going to do first?
Subtract 1.
Subtract 1. That's a good start. So then I have root h equals 20. Now how do I undo a square root? You square it. Now this is the thing. If you've got your calculators handy, if you forget come test time, your calculator has a button. And on that button it's got a square root sign, right? And then right next to it should be the x squared. And so that kind of tells you that they undo each other. So if I take the square of that square root, this is gone and that leaves me with h, right? What is 20 squared?
400.
400. So now before we circle it, we have to see if it works. So I have to plug it into the original equation. Here's my little check that I got to do. Okay, what is the square root of 400? 20. If I add 1, do I get 21?
Yeah.
You bet. So that, in fact, is my answer. You just have to do a little check every time. Now, you've had me long enough to know that I'm probably going to throw some on there that you will need to eliminate, okay, especially come test time. So it's important to understand that you need to go through and check. Okay, oh, whoa, that skipped a bunch, didn't it? Okay, let's look at this one. Let's try that one. That skipped a ton. What are you going to do here first? Subtract 7. Very good.
7.
So then that leaves me with root a plus 5 equals 5. What do you do now? Square it. Good. So on the left side, now notice you don't get rid of the 5 on the left side first. You have to square it first. Get rid of that square root side, and then that leaves you with a plus 5 equals what? 25. What do you do now? Subtract 5. Very good. And so what do we think a equals? 20. Well, now we got to go back and check to see. So let's plug in 20. So I have 20 plus 5 plus 7. What is 20 plus 5?
25.
What is the square root of 25? So then I have 5 plus 7. Does that equal 12?
Yes.
Yep, so that is your answer. Not too bad, pretty straightforward.
So what would you do if it doesn't work?
You would just cross it off and you wouldn't count it. It'd be a no solution. Let's look at this one right here. Okay, I want you to try this one for me. Okay, you go through and try this one for me. You try this one for me. Get a number. So is your answer bigger than 10 or less than 10?
Bigger.
Bigger than 20, less than 20?
Bigger.
Bigger than 30, less than 30?
Bigger.
Bigger than 40, less than 40? And the answer is?
39.
39. Nice job. Okay. Alrighty, let's look at this one. Now what's different here? There's 2 square roots. So now, ideally, if I square the equation right now, I'll just have an x on the left side, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to square the equation. However, when I square this quantity, what that really means is that means 4 root 3 times 4 root 3. That's what it means. And so on the left side, when I square that, that's going to be that, and I get x. And that's all fine and good. Now on this right side, what do I get from those two? 16. From this, I'm going to get square root of 3 times 3, which is just what? It's the, yeah, or I've got a pair of 3's here, right? So I can take that 3 out. So really I'm left with 3 times 16. So what does x equal? 48. Okay? So if I were to check that, that's what I probably need to go back to do and check. I need to check that 48 is 4 root 3. So let's break that down. What do I have here? 6 and 8. Okay. 3 and 2. 2 and 4. And then 2 and 2. So let's look for pairs. I have one pair here, one pair here. So really, what do I take out? 2 2's, which is 4 root 3. It matches. So that is in fact your answer. Ah, it's skipping. All right, you know what? We're going to leave this one till tomorrow. I want you to go ahead and, my gosh, this board is skipping today. I want you to go ahead and get started on your assignment on page 644, 9 through 20. You probably won't be able to do the entire thing, and we'll continue with this tomorrow.
So it's not due.
No, it is not due tomorrow at the start of class. It'll probably be due Wednesday, start of class.